Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Joe. I'm giving a tutorial on the Attack of the Radioactive Thing Easter egg on Zombies in Space. Sorry, on Attack of the Radioactive Thing and in Infinite Warfare Zombies. There we go. All right. So previously in the last part one, we went around the map, turned on the power. We got some parts and talked about the website. Hopefully you still have that website pulled up to use, but as I mentioned, we're going to use a piece of paper and we're going to write down some numbers first, and then later on when I tell you to, we're going to transfer those numbers that we wrote down onto that website in those spaces provided, okay? It'll make things just a little easier just in case the internet goes down or shuts down, your computer turns off, whatever the case may be. Alright, so that's where we had left off, and I also just barely, actually where we really left off is I was discussing the vial that Elvira just gave us here. We're going to have to fill up this vial here momentarily, but before we fill up that vial, I'm going to show you how to get the O number. What I mean by the O number is we need a number to calculate for the chemical part of the Easter egg. Okay, basically this O number is going to be subtracted from a total with ingredients and things, which will give us like a cost, what they call it, to activate the chemistry set. And we'll talk about that later on. But if you take a look at your website, if you still have that pulled up in there, you'll see it says ingredient values. It has like a little circle shape there. Which says equals and a zero, a number zero, and a little space provided there. That is where the O number is going to go. Okay. Now I'm going to show you, teach you a trick on how to get that O number. Now my way, there's a really easy way to get that O number, which does not involve you changing colors and running around the map looking at numbers. My way is really simple, really easy, and let me show you how to do that. But before we do, hopefully you have enough money to open up this next door. If you do, go ahead and open it. If you don't, then go around and get enough money to get that door open, but save a zombie alive so you can do this next step here. As soon as you open that door, let's go ahead and run down here to the street real fast. We're going to grab a part first before we get that O number. Part is underneath those red card. Go ahead and grab it there, like so. Work your way over here to the motel area. Inside this reception area, it's going to be a number in the top corner here. My number is 20. Your number will be different, okay? We're going to use that 20.
Hello.
And we're going to divide that 20 on against some numbers that are on the TV inside this TV station here next to Elvira. There's a little television that has some numbers displayed on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to divide that number inside the reception area with the numbers that are on the TV, and we're going to try to get a whole number. What I mean by that is, well, let me show you. Let's run in there real fast and take a look at this TV, okay? And if you need to write it down so you could try to figure out what I'm talking about, go ahead and write it down real fast so you can see for yourself what I mean. Now the numbers on my TV is 157, 157 through 159, and then 159. So on a piece of paper, write down 157 through 159. Just for kicks and giggles, 157 through 159. Alright, so here's what I'm talking about, and this is my trick for, again, the O number. You're going to divide 20 against 157, 158, 159. You see what I'm saying? And you could even do one before, say 156, 157, 158, 159, 160. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try and get a whole number. And when you get that whole number, I'll tell you what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and let's take that number, 20. Sorry, take that back. Let's take 156, because like I said, the numbers on the board was 157 through 159. And we're going to go just one digit before that first number there, 157. So we're going to do 156. 156 divided by 20 equals 7.8. That is not a whole number. Okay, so let's do 158 divided by 20, 7.9. That's not a whole number either. Alright, 159 divided by 20. That gives us 7.95. Once again, not a whole number. But if we go one digit higher, 160 divided by 20, there we go. We just got ourselves a whole number, 8. So if you're following along and if you're doing the same numbers as I am just for practice, you should be getting the same number too, the same whole number, which is 8. That 8 is your O number. Okay? So on the piece of paper, like I said, your number is going to be different. Your TV's numbers are going to be different. The number in that reception room is going to be different, which is fine. Just do the calculations like I just taught you here. You're going to divide that number in the in that office with the numbers that are on the television there until you can get a whole number. And once you get that whole number, you're going to write that down on a piece of paper. Just going ahead and write letter O equals 8. For me, your number is going to be different, but O equals whatever the whole number is. Okay, we're going to use that number here later on. Now, here's a kind of a warning and a heads up for you guys when you're doing this step, when you're trying to get the O number. Now, for whatever reason, if your number in that reception room is a number 2, it's going to be really tricky to get your O number. And let me show you why. Okay, let's go ahead and let's assume, for practice sake again, that that number in that reception room is a number 2. Alright, so if you divide, let's say 156 with 2, that gives you the whole number of 78. Okay, well, if you divide 158 with 2, that gives you another whole number, 79. So you might be able to see what I'm getting at here. 78, 79, 80. You're going to have like 3 different whole numbers, and you're not going to know which one of those whole numbers is your O number. Now, the way to find out which one of those numbers is your actual O number, the one that you need to use, you're going to have to go around the map and take a look to see what number is around the map. Only one of those numbers, 78, 79, 80, or whatever it is, one of those numbers is going to be located around the map, and only one. There's not going to be any 2 of those, same numbers. Only one of those is going to be located around the map. So you're going to have to take, there's 4 locations, just go around the map to all 4 locations of those numbers and see which one of those numbers is marked on the map. Once you find the number that you're looking for, that is going to be your O number. Go ahead and write that number down. Hopefully that made sense. If not, please message me or get a hold of me somehow, and I'll try my best to explain that to you. But hopefully you don't get the number 2 in the reception area. I think it makes more sense once it happens and you figure it out. Then it's not that hard to figure out. It's not that hard to do. But hopefully that makes sense and you guys understand that. Alright, let's go ahead and proceed. Now that we got our O number, we're going to change the color to whatever color we need to look at these chalkboards. There's chalkboards located around the map, and we're going to write down numbers off of these chalkboards onto the piece of paper here, like I mentioned earlier. Okay. Now the thing is that these numbers are going to be different in full color. You see 6 and 9 here. When you change the color, those numbers are going to be completely different. Alright. So when we change the color, we're going to go to the chalkboards located around the map, and there's only going to be a set of numbers that we're going to look at, okay? We're going to look at the top number and the left number, alright? We're not going to look at the bottom one. We're not going to look at the right one. We're only going to be looking at the top one and the left one.
You help me?
Let me show you again, because that's always hit me. So we're going to be looking at the top one and the left ones on all these ingredients, alright? I'll show you here in just a second. Alright, so let's go ahead and figure out what color we need. In order to figure out what color we need, we're going to get that number that we got for the whole number. And the scenario I gave you and the example I gave you, it was 160. If we remember that. If you're not sure, if you don't remember, just go ahead and type in 160 divided by 20, and you'll see what I'm saying. 160 divided by 20 equals 8, which is my whole number. Your number's going to be different. Can't express that enough. So, like I said, 160 was the number that I got for the whole number, and so we're going to come over here to the TV station, our television. We're going to see what color is 160. Right here, as you can see, anything greater than 159 is going to be red. and that is mine. Okay, so, and these other ones, you'll see anything less than 157 is green, anything between 157 and 158 is going to be blue, but mine is 160, so I'm going to go ahead and change the color for the 161, anything greater than 159 I think it was. Let's go ahead and change that color real fast to red. Alright, in order to change the color, you come over here to this little panel behind here, and it's going to tell you to press and hold X. Your action button might be different depending on the console you're playing. Red, you can just keep pushing that button until it changes to the color that you need. I just changed mine to red. It was the first option for me. Yours might be the second, it might be the third, who knows. Alright, now that I changed the color red, let's go and write down some numbers here. Now there's only going to be 2 ingredients on this board, the TV station board, that we are going to write down. We're going to write down the numbers for aldehyde. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. We're going to write down the numbers for methylbenzene, and that's it. Just those 2 ingredients. So let's take a look at those numbers. Aldehyde, however you pronounce that, is 3 and 9. So going ahead and write down, I'm just going to write ACE. You can write down whatever you want. 3, 9. Alright. And the next one I said to look at was methylbenzene. Methylbenzene is 8 and 4. I saw that really quick. So I'm going to write down meth. And I said it was 8, 4. Alright. Go ahead and write that down on a piece of paper. Like I said, your numbers are going to be different than mine. So please do not copy the exact same numbers as mine unless your numbers are actually those numbers. Alright. So once you've written down those numbers on the piece of paper, go on ahead and then let's make our way over to the next area. But before we go to the next area, you guessed it, we're going to grab a couple more parts and things here. Let me discuss that for you. We're going to build a trap. The trap is going to be used for the boss battle. Now, let's go ahead and, first things first, go ahead and grab this part here. It's one of the parts for the trap. If it'll let me grab it. There you go. Sometimes a little tricky. So go ahead and grab that part. But to build that trap, we're going to need a blueprint. The blueprint is located just outside this little room here. Janitor room, whatever you call it. Put that blueprint on the table, and that's automatically going to add that part. Whoa! It's automatically going to add that part for you that you just grabbed. The second part is going to be right here next to the pool. A little jukebox looking part. There it goes. I got a running zombie. It's running there real fast. Let's put that on the table. There we go, that's 2 parts. The third part is going to be located just over here outside this little plant area or whatever. There's a battery on the ground. Go ahead and grab that battery. Once you put that battery on the table, it's going to build that trap for you. Once you've built that trap, go ahead and grab it. Grab the trap there. Grab it real fast here before I get trapped in here. Woo, that's a close one. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and open this next area. If you don't have enough money, that's fine. Just go ahead and go another round, leave a zombie or 2 alive, and you should be able to afford to open that door. Alright, now for this part. Like I said earlier, we're going to be filling up this vial by knifing zombies, so that's what I'm going to do for this round real fast. I'm going to go ahead and start knifing some zombies to get that vial filled up. As you can tell, since I'm still in the early rounds, I'm able to knife them and kill them quite easily compared if I were into higher rounds. Once you get that vial filled up, I'm going to tell you what to do next. If you already have your vial filled up, if you're ahead of me, go ahead and pause your game for just a moment until I tell you what to do next here. I always like to push the options button to kind of take a look at where I'm at as far as filling up that vial. Looks like I still have a little ways to go. By the way, knifing these green zombies fills up that vial a little bit faster compared to just regular zombies. So that's a plus. I'm going to try and do some sliding and stuff here so I don't go down. Go ahead and take your time. This is a nice little area to do a train if you can't tell already. Don't really rush yourself. I say just pick off these zombies that are stragglers, you know, by themselves kind of thing. don't risk yourself trying to knife these zombies that are grouped up together in a crowd, because you'll probably get smacked too many times and go down. So I say just take your time, go slow, kill these zombies that are just stragglers on the edges here. Alright, so as you can tell, my vial is now finally full. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and kill all these zombies down to just one zombie left. You don't have to knife him, you can shoot him if you want. I don't like to knife him because I think it gives you a little bit more points. And as always, leave 2 zombies alive. Work your way back over to Elvira's, the TV station there, and we're going to talk to Elvira. Once you talk to her, she's going to poof out of her chair. She's going to change into some fancy outfit, and she's going to be standing. Once she stands up, there's going to be a mirror. She's sitting on it right now. Don't ask me why she's sitting on it, but there's going to be a mirror behind her on the couch there. You want to grab that mirror by pressing and holding X or whatever the action button is on your console, your device. It's going to be different. And now really fast, you want to try and grab that mirror as quick as possible, and as soon as you grab that mirror, work yourself, walk outside the TV station in the back area. There's a parking lot there, and she'll follow you. Now, just a heads up and a quick note, if you cannot grab that mirror, it's probably because one of the characters is talking. They like to talk a lot, so that's why it's important that you grab that mirror as fast as possible before they start talking. Alright, so if they happen to be talking, Elvira or Willowire, thank you. Alright, so if one of those 2 characters is talking, you will not be able to grab that mirror. I don't know why. It's just a glitch in the system or the game. They programmed it to where you're forced to listen to them talk. It's kind of dumb, but... Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to Elvira. She's going to... And like I said, she's going to snap her fingers and poof, she's going to change into something. She's going to stand up. There's that mirror I was talking about. And down. I got smacked too hard by the zombies. But luckily I got that up and atoms, which is good. That's why it's important that you buy the up and atoms if you can. Let's go head outside. Like I said earlier, we're going to head right outside the TV station. If you don't see Elvira, don't worry about that. She'll follow you. She'll make her way out there eventually. There she comes. And you want to try to get her to come over here. By standing close to this little orb here. And as you see here, she's going to open up that portal. Now, but before we go in that portal, here's what we're going to do. Alright, because you only have a limited amount of time to do so. Once we go in the portal, on the wall is going to be a button. We're going to push that button, and when we push that button, we go through the back through the portal again. But this time it's going to spawn you inside of a little trailer, which is located in the trailer park. More on that later. Now, inside the trailer is going to be a head, a glowing green head towards the back of the trailer. We're going to grab that head. And there's also a number located inside that area. So you could take a look, if you have the number 2 in that, that reception area or whatever, you could take a look at that refrigerator, which is going to have the number on that refrigerator to see if your number matches, or any of your numbers, match that number on the fridge, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and head inside real fast. I don't have enough to pack a punch, that's alright. Let's push that button and go through the portal like I said. Grab that head, just like I mentioned, it should be in the back. There's a number on the, like I said, on the fridge. I know for a fact my number's not 4, my number is 8. We'll see if my 8 is around here later on. Now, if you just saw that on the ground, a battery, let me pause it for just a second and talk about something here that I mentioned earlier in part 1 of the video. In part 1 of the video, I said that a lot of these YouTubers, a lot of these people that do the Easter eggs, they are different. They do things different compared to my method in terms of completing the Easter eggs. Majority of the players out there, they get these batteries that you just saw that are on the ground, and they use those batteries to listen to radios. There's a number of radios that are located around the map, and when you listen to the radio, there's going to be a voice that's going to be heard, and the voice is going to be discussing and talking about chemicals and things, and that's how you're going to be able to find out what super chemical you need to activate the nuke. What do you mean by that? Well, like I said, this is important for you to do a quick overview of the Easter eggs and what it does and how to do them, kind of thing, before you do this tutorial. Anyways, if you're still new to this and you are not familiar with this, the basic standard way of doing the Easter egg, in order to get into the boss battle, you're going to have to activate a nuke. Okay, in order to activate the nuke, you need a super formula or super chemical, whatever you want to call it. For all intents and purposes, in this tutorial, we're going to call it the super formula. Alright, so you need the correct super formula in order to activate that nuke. Now, in order to get that super formula, you have to make a combination of chemicals involving ingredients to make that super formula. Alright, and I'm going to be discussing all these ingredients and super formulas to you one at a time. So that way, like I said, without fail, you'll be able to pass that chemistry set or that chemical part real easy without any problems. But my way, my method of doing this Easter egg is I do not use batteries. I do not listen to radios. I have my reasons for doing so. I think, and it's just my own personal belief and opinion, that it's a lot faster to not listen to radios, not get batteries, but just to make the super formulas one at a time until one works. Okay, now there are a total of 4 super formulas that may work. Only one of them will work. So there's a total of 4 of them. One of them will work, for that nuke. Now I do all 4 super chemicals one at a time until one of them works. Now for the most part, and I've organized them in a way, in a matter that, from the most likely to the least likely. What I mean by that is, the majority of the time when I do this Easter egg, it's usually always the first super formula that I make that works on the nuke. Okay, if it's not the first one, it might be the second one. Rarely is it the third or the fourth super formula that I make. But like I said, for the most part, the majority of the time when I do this Easter egg, it's usually always the first one that I make. And we'll see if I'm correct in this tutorial. I may be correct, I may be wrong. I don't know, we'll find out. But for this tutorial, we're going to be doing things my way, which does not involve picking up batteries and listening to radio. So do not worry about grabbing the batteries if you see one on the ground. Alright, so Elvira's going to kill all of your zombies, and if you don't want her to kill all the zombies, let's go ahead and work our way over to the trailer park area. Now, if you do not have a weapon at all that has a scope, any of these weapons that are located around this map, if you do not have a scope on any of these weapons, there will be a sniper rifle right here that you could grab. That sniper rifle hopefully will have a scope on it. You could look at that chalkboard easily before having to open that garage. You don't need to open it to take a look at that chalkboard. You could just use a scope to take a look at it. And I'll show you that a little bit later. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get a crowbar. The crowbar is located inside that little janitor closet room where we built that trap. Go ahead and grab the crowbar. It's just against the wall right there. I got it, just like that. Stinking Elvira's going to kill all my dang zombies. Disappear already, will ya? Thank you. Grab a part that's inside this fire pit right here in this area. It's going to be in the fire pit. There we go. Let me grab it. And the next part, there's going to be one on the picnic table just right over here. Go ahead and grab that. And now we're going to take a look at the chalkboard since we're already here. And we're going to write down some numbers. Now go ahead and pull up your browser or whatever to take a look at the areas that we're going to be filling in here. Like I said, we're going to be writing down these numbers on a piece of paper first, and we'll transfer them over to the website later on. But in the trailer park, there's only a few of these ingredients that we are going to be using. See here, we're going to be getting the numbers for plant food. We're going to get the numbers for paint. We're going to get the numbers for vinegar. We do not need the numbers for the ice, bleach, or powdered milk. So we're only going to be getting numbers for just 3 items here. The first 3, plant food, paint, and vinegar. So plant food, I'm going to write plant, you can abbreviate it, whatever you want to do, is 6, 7. Next number is 8 and 7. I'm going to come over here before I die. Let's write that down. Paint is 8, 7. Alright, and last we need the vinegar numbers, 9 and 2. So vinegar, I'm just going to write vin is 9, 2. Now if you want to, and I kind of recommend it, you might want to double check. Oh man, I had to kill him. I'm sorry, I got trapped in this trailer, which is not good. But yeah, like I said, it might be a good thing to double check your work. 9 and 2. Alright, sorry about that. I had to deal with the crogs a little bit. Now that that is over with and everything, we're back to where we left off. Alright, in the trailer park, we're going to head over here inside the bathroom. Hopefully you still have your crowbar. You're going to smack a mirror here, and there's going to be a shard of glass in the sink there. Go ahead and grab that shard of glass. Then we'll work our way over here real fast. Activate that next teleporter, which is going to be right there where you saw me. Alright, before we go over to the beach area and the next area, we're going to go inside Pack a Punch. If your Pack a Punch is here, that is. If it's not, then don't worry about that. You can go in there later on. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and end this part 2 for now, since we're running out of time here. And we'll proceed over into part 3 here in just a moment. So if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe this video, please. It helps me out a lot, and really appreciate you guys doing that, taking a lot of time out of my way to make this tutorial and try to help out people. So it helps me a lot to know that I didn't waste all my time and everything for nothing. It would be great if you guys could pay me back by hitting that subscribe button and that like button. But going ahead and proceed over into part 3. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you over there.